It's the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here, joined by the great Shaquille O'Neal and the equally great Kenny the Jet Smith. And on tap tonight, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the New Orleans Pelicans at Smoothie King Center. Well, for the Pelicans, they're sixth in the Western Conference. From up around the top of the pack last year to the middle of it so far this season. Still some time to improve that position, though. And tonight, two top-tier centers going toe-to-toe. Obviously, the center position has become more multi-dimensional than ever. Shaq, give us your thoughts on how your position has evolved.
Well, the new defensive rules make it harder to post up. Versatility has never been more important for centers. You know, starting to play small ball, we need to get a little more versatile and show them that, hey, Akeem is not gone.
Do you think you could survive in the league in this day and age?
Oh, yes. Yes,
wow,
yes.
What a question.
Yes.
I can't believe he even asked you that.
I can't believe he answered it.
I think you come off the bench now.
Yeah, you could be a great sixth man.
Oh.
Whoa!
Okay, you could stop.
Shaq don't do bench.
Okay. Defensively, centers just have to guard, and Shaq could guard.
Yeah.
I could play guard.
Hello, basketball fans. You've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Earlier in the season, the New Orleans Pelicans ended up losing their last game in this matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, they lost the momentum, and it's a bit surprising that one got away from them because for long stretches, they were the better team.
Well, if you only looked at the stat sheet, you'd have a hard time figuring out how they lost it. I mean, it was a case of a few small things, some of the intangibles that didn't go their way in the end.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup. Wiggins at small forward with Gibson at the 4. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Towns in at the 5 down low. And the Timberwolves with possession here. Defeated by the Wizards in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
Yeah, in a game where offensively they were about as inconsistent as you're ever going to see them.
They needed to make a few runs, but it just never happened for them. And when you can't string things together, it's tough sledding. It's a tough way to go.
And the first one at the line is good. Clark, assess the center position right now in the NBA. And I'm talking about elite centers and their place in the game.
Well, The center position has changed, Kevin. You don't have a lot of back-to-the-basket centers anymore. More of the big guys are stepping out and are more like stretch fours than traditional big guys. What you have in the center position now typically are rebounders and rim protectors. Not many dominant scorers on the low block.
Now here's Rondo. They really needed more from him in that loss to Golden State. And they double up Rondo. Towns with the steal. And here we go. Fast break. Towns has got it. Tipped away. Towns against Cousins. Davis gets a wide open look. And he's good on the three ball. Davis has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And the soft jump shot there of Davis. You got to respect his perimeter game.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, I was able to talk to Alvin Gentry a few minutes ago. This is their second meeting with this team. The first one didn't go as well as they'd like, so this time around, they're going to try to close the lane off, push drivers and slashers as far away from the basket as possible. See how that goes, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That is his first foul of the game. Just around a minute and a half into the first quarter.
And you've got to do a better job of making sure the defender isn't in your space. I mean, if you're going to pump fake, you've got to make sure he doesn't have a chance for the steal.
Tell you what, the team wants to see more of this from Wiggins, causing turnovers that get his team out in transition.
Now here's Rondo. Right now averaging about 5 points a game. Unhindered, going all the way. Oh, and the jam by Butler.
You got to be more careful around Butler. I mean, he's terrific at bouncing over the opposition and taking the ball away.
Now here's Rondo. Davis sets a screen. Holiday left side. Here's Towns, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And New Orleans gets called for the foul.
Tell you what, you don't expect the center to attack off the bounce like this. I mean, Towns caught the defense off guard.
And now we'll get a perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Timberwolves.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
The free throw drops for Towns.
You know, watching Towns play, you always hope to catch him on a night where he's in attack mode, being aggressive. He's, I think, most dangerous when he's aggressive on offense and attacking the basket. At times, he can settle for the perimeter shot a little much, but he's got so much to offer in his offensive game that I just like watching him play, period.
And Clark, to the point about Towns settling for outside shots, last season it was something that he self-corrected. After the halfway point of the season, he took less threes and it drastically improved his output.
Well, quite honestly, Kevin, the bulk of his points should come from near the rim, but he does need to take some of those perimeter shots to keep the defense honest and a little off balance. And I think he's really unstoppable, though, when he gets going to the hoop.
Now here's Rondo. After the miss from Karl Anthony Towns. Knocks it loose. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Towns.
And checking out the numbers for Jimmy Butler. Over the last month, getting it done. Averaging 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And I think he's got to be pretty pleased with his output. And you know he's always looking to push himself.
Yeah, you know, really solid numbers across the board here, Greg. I mean, he contributes in a multitude of ways for this club.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Here's Gibson. And he can't bank that one in. Pelicans trail by 9. And Holiday kicks to Rondo. It's stolen by T. And Butler, here we go. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits. Butler's got his second basket of the game.
And Butler does a nice job using his body. I mean, especially when he's close to the basket, comfortable operating inside.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
No other way to put it. The defense was awful, completely uninspired at that end of the floor.
And you know, Greg, defense is a mindset, and they did not have that mentality that game. And the turnovers were a problem as well.
Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You take a look at the Timberwolves. They're in the upper part of the conference records right now, in 5th place. And, of course, the Pelicans, a half game back.
And I think for New Orleans, they're one of the NBA's early season success stories. They've made an immediate push toward the top of the standings.
I'm not sure how long they'll be able to stick around up there, but so far it's been a lot of fun to see how much progress they're making.
Teague against Rondo. Davis setting the pick for Rondo. Gibson with the steal. Rondo with the steal. And pushing it up. Here's New Orleans. Here's Cousins. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. Cousins has got his first 2 points.
And with great players, you've got to pick your poison. You'll live with Cousins shooting from mid-range. Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Pelicans trailed by 11. Outside Rondo. Davis with it. Picked up by Teague. Here's Cunningham. Misses the three.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Towns. It's stolen by Davis. That's tipped. Here's Towns. Bank shot. No good.
Well, it's just been one of those kind of games for him.
Davis with a screen on Wiggins. Cousins, the pass to Holiday. New Orleans moving it around. Good on the bucket. Davis has got his second bucket of the night.
And, you know, got to admire the patience inside from Davis. Outstanding at staying under control, taking his time, and burying the quality shot.
And that one is good. 8 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
Aggressive coming out of the gate here, guys. Wow.
Tone setting, that's what I call it. Grabbing this one by the throat early on and then squeezing it hard.
Cunningham inside, covered by Wiggins. The rebound by Gibson. Here's Towns. Oh, and the jam by Towns.
Towns with the creativity and explosiveness.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stuff and some great basketball going on. And the New Orleans Pelicans last season with one of the worst offensive rebounding percentages in history.
Yeah, I mean, it improved somewhat with DeMarcus Cousins coming in. But I think really it's the team's philosophy, though. They value getting back in transition more than they value a chance to attack that offensive glass.
Here is Cunningham. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Cousins with the bucket.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Yeah, the half and half balls are going their way, and that's really a function of effort and intensity. You know, the ball doesn't discriminate. Whoever goes and gets it, that's who owns it.
Here is Rondo after the made shot from Karl Anthony Towns. Cousins with a screen on Wiggins, and there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his third foul of the game.
Ouch. 3 fouls for him already, and now if you're the coach, you got to think about sitting him down.
And stolen by Butler.
Just too many miscues here in the early going.
And it's not hard to see why they're down. I mean, it seems every trip down the floor, they're giving the ball to the other team.
Pelicans trail by 13. Here's Holiday. Some solid defense from Butler. And now the Timberwolves on the break.
Yep, another one from Towns. There's no limit to what he can score when he's in this kind of rhythm.
New Orleans has gone a meager 1 of 6 from three-point land since we got started tonight. And they double up Davis, pass to Cunningham. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the 3-point and 2-point shot attempt averages for New Orleans.
And they concentrated a lot on creating open looks from beyond the arc. Player movement, finding space on the perimeter, that was their number one priority.
Towns against Cousins. From 12 feet out. And again, Karl Anthony Towns. Towns has got 16 points.
Wow, unconscious has he been this quarter. They're riding that hot hand.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Clark, when you played, did you have any superstitions or a game day ritual that you would follow?
Superstitions are a waste of time in my book, Kevin. I had none, not any. I like my pregame nap. I'd get a good pregame meal, and then it was about focusing on my assignment for that particular game and night or day. Superstitions, I know a lot of guys have them. They weren't part of my toolkit.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
Yeah, there's no reason why they should be scoring at will down there easily as they have. I mean, they've got to be more aggressive inside.
So for the Pelicans, Miller's checked in for Cunningham, and Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Rajon Rondo. Here is Nelson. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Towns comes with a double team. Miller kicks to Nelson. Davis in the corner. Shot clock at 5. Tipped away. From deep. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got his 5th rebound in this one.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Pretty clear they're dominating that area. They've come out with a lot more energy and effort so far.
Nelson against Teague. And Holiday has it in the corner. And again, New Orleans has no luck. Here's Towns. Missed number 7 from the field. He's also made 7. Miller kicks to Cousins. Offensive struggles continue. Missing again. Here's Towns. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. And Clark, one thing you have to love about Towns is just how self-aware and humble he is. He's always looking to hone his game, and even when he puts up a big night, he can look at the tape and find something that he's got to improve on.
Yeah, that's admirable. His humility and his selflessness, being aware of what's going on, where he needs to get better, and that's part of why I think he's a leader on this team. He'll own his mistakes, and he also is owning his personal development and improvement. So the future's bright for this guy.
And the first one at the line is good.
And I tell you what, the former NBA Rookie of the Year, Towns, continuing his rapid ascension as one of the league's best centers.
And the Pelicans making a change here. Allen's checked in. And then for Minnesota, Bielitsa, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Butler. And Jones subbed in for Teague. And Towns drops them both.
Yeah, and early on doing a really nice job at the free throw line.
Yeah, getting to the line and converting, Greg. That's the big thing. It's always good when you can do that because it stabilizes your offense.
And the dunk by Towns.
The steal then right into the fast break. Towns with excellent awareness for his age. Very mature player despite being a young buck.
Well, for New Orleans, shooting a mere 25% from the floor in this first quarter. Timberwolves leading by 23. Here's Wiggins. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. It's on Tony Allen.
Hey, and when you're the number 1 overall pick, there's some pressure that comes with that stature, and Wiggins had a lot of pressure on him because of that. Has responded well, though, and I think stardom is in this guy's future. I mean, you look at his overall game and how he's developing, a really good threat on offense, and I think he's got a chance to be all NBA defense at some point.
First one falls for him. And just thinking about the maturing of Wiggins' game and how he's developed, Clark, he's shown that he can carry an offense as a perimeter player. Few can do that at his age.
Yeah, and he was able to do that in part because he was forced to. When Levine went down last season with an injury, stepped up his scoring, and I think he's only going to get better as he gets older.
And with Andrew Wiggins, he can be deadly from mid-range, but he's seen an uptick in scoring, Clark, because he's been focusing on all the little things you need to master as a perimeter wing threat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has been focusing on those intangible, those small things that are big things in making a difference in how efficient you are on offense. He's improved his play running the pick and roll every year. He's excellent in transition and off cuts and has really worked on becoming a better finisher off the screen and roll handoff.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass. Shots good by Miller.
And they can't allow him too many open looks like that. That's just inviting trouble.
It's Bielitsa. Tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Allen, right side, from 12 feet out. And a great assist by Miller as that one goes in. Allen's got his first basket of the night. And Zhang kicks to Bielitsa. Cousins pulls it in.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
That ball's off target. It's his third miss. He's made 2 shots from the field. Baseline jumper. They get the rebound. It's Bielitsa. Banked in off the glass.
And loving the hustle here early. I mean, they struck first on the offensive glass.
And those putback baskets contributing to their lead, Greg.
Now here's Allen. And stolen by Zhang. It's Bielitsa. Finished off the break.
Yeah, second chance points, a huge issue right now. They're getting steamrolled inside.
Well, guys, nobody's boxing out. I mean, I could go out there and get an offensive rebound. They're just watching. And if you're the coaching staff, that's unacceptable.
And so here is New Orleans following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Down low, Davis. The basket is good. That's his 6th attempt and his 3rd make.
Yeah, another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively here so far.
And, this quarter has been all him, all about him. They're getting it to him in his spots, and he's taking over.
They double him with Wiggins. Nelson kicks to Cousins. To the middle. Here's Miller. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. Miller's got 5 now.
Oh, that's just an incredible find coming from the big man. No debating Cousins' smarts on the court. He picks out a pass there that not many guys would have seen. And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up a little more sense of urgency.
Yeah, they've got to do a little more to disrupt their offensive rhythm, too.
And finished off by Zhang.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
And I tell you what, Greg, they've worked hard for this lead. Their play calling has been superb, and the execution even better.
And stolen by Zhang. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Ejuan Moore is checked in for New Orleans. Minnesota also with the sub. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Wiggins. And so it's Minnesota with it. Here's Jones. The second chance effort, and the layup is up and in. 6 points for him.
And he's really been working to get those looks, and it's starting to pay off here early on.
Cousins inside. Jang defending. Cousins dishes to Moore. And again, no good by New Orleans.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right, they're happy with that shot.
Here's Cousins. And nothing is falling for him right now. And so it's Minnesota out there all by themselves with a 32-point lead to end the quarter. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. Back to the action after this word. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And, guys, we've seen a confident-looking Timberwolves team out there.
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnover.
Just jumped all over him, Greg. I mean, pounced on him, using their length and quickness to come away with those steals.
And so it's New Orleans with it. It's off to Utah for him after this game as they take on the Jazz. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for him. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. So for New Orleans right now, the bigs inside, Davis and Cousins. Each one more is out there with Allen, and it's Miller in at the 3. One thing that Tom Thibodeau can be depended on as a coach is giving his star players a lot of minutes. In fact, in Chicago, Clarkson criticized him for doing that. Others praised him for it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a team leader, he expects you to be on the floor a lot and produce a lot.
Yeah, and, you know, that's part of the job. Hey, when you get right down to it, if you're one of the best players, you've got to show up and do your job all the time. And you look at players who've played under Thibodeau. I mean, he's had the league leader in average minutes 3 times in his career as a coach. Said himself that he expects his guys to get used to what star players do, which includes a lot of minutes.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Pelicans do have their challenges, but Anthony Davis remains committed to winning in New Orleans. He said, "I love it here. I don't plan on leaving. I guess I fit into that old school category where I want to try to win where I start my career. That's always been a goal of mine. My goal is to bring a championship here." Kevin?
And David, loyalty does go a long way. Davis is a perfect guy to build your team around. He wants to win. There's Crawford with the 3. Unable to get that one. Excellent D there from Allen. Good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
Fantastic speed on the break. Speed kill, showing no mercy in transition there, partner. And, you know, the defense knew how to play at that time. Liked how they made their presence felt without committing the foul.
And Moore kicks to Allen. They set the screen. Here's Davis. Rebound by Jang. Jang's got his 3rd rebound tonight. The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 6 in the field in the second quarter so far.
I tell you, he's playing the game with pure excitement right now.
He capped off that dunk with some serious hang time on the rim.
Yeah, just couldn't contain himself. Couldn't control himself there.
Here's Moore, following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Misses off the left iron.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
They get it back. Jones. Good D by Miller. The Pelicans have gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far. Moore in the corner. Trains it from beyond the arc.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Did a good job guarding the mid-range, extended out nicely, and definitely bothered the shot. Seems like he's in a hurry. He's kind of rushing his shot, clearly out of rhythm right now. That's a big reason why they're losing.
And when you can outscore your opponent in transition, that's always going to work to your advantage.
Hey, that's a big piece of the pie when you're talking about winning basketball, fast break points. I mean, because most of the time, those are easy hoops.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Clark, there are a lot of great rim protectors right now in the NBA.
Yeah, there sure are, and there are a couple, though, that stand out to me. Gobert and Whiteside. I mean, they are just like octopuses in their ability to hover around that rim and challenge and change and block shots. Those two guys really stand out to me.
Yeah.
I also think you've got to consider DeAndre Jordan, too. With his athleticism, he's become better as a rim protector in his last few years.
Right, you're right, Clark. Dante Cunningham's checked in for New Orleans. Holiday comes in for Miller. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Jang. Gibson comes in for Bjelica. Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Tyus Jones. Now here's Allen. Back to Holiday. 6 to shoot. Off target from three-point range.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Moore outside. Takes a three. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Gibson's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Here's Towns, and he drops it in from the low post. Towns has got 4 points this quarter.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Moore right side. Over in the corner, Cunningham. Outside, Holiday. New Orleans moving it around, and Cousins gets it to go. The Timberwolves have gone 6 of 13 so far from the field here in the second quarter. And Muhammad throws it down.
Well, this is what you want from Muhammad. Pushing the action, then finishing with force. Yes.
New Orleans gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. And Holiday kicks to Allen. Rebound by Butler. The Timberwolves have gone 7 of 14 in the second quarter, shooting to the tune of 50%. There's Allen. That's good on the assist by Cousins. Cousins has got his 3rd assist on the night.
That defense was totally lost. Don't know how you let a shooter get off such a clean look from beyond the arc. Come on, you got to pay attention.
And yep, that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
And Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on it.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. And he knocks down the first one.
Well, the problem last year for the Timberwolves was their defense. Allowed way too many points in the paint. Fortunately, they've improved their defense down the stretch here.
And Towns drops them both. Another issue with the Wolves and their defense was that they weren't a great rebounding team outside, of course, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and you know what? There weren't a lot of big issues with the Wolves' defense, but the small issues added up and cumulatively were a problem. I think they've got to continue to build on becoming a solid defensive team.
New Orleans gotten half their shots from three-point range to go down in the second quarter. 3 of 6 from downtown. Here's Cousins, and Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down. It's been all Timberwolves. Here's Teague. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Butler's got 4 assists now tonight.
And, you know, the quickness of Teague's release came into play there. Any hesitation on his jumper, and he might not have gotten it off.
Rondo kicks to Clark. Pelicans keep it alive. Cousins goes up again. He lays it in. Cousins has got 12.
He is just a monster on the boards. And with those soft hands Cousins has, he's going to turn those offensive rebounds into putbacks almost every time. And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
And another field goal in his total. Make it 7 for 14, shooting 50%.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
You know, defensively, you've got to respect Towns' jumper. I mean, that creates driving lanes for him because you do have to guard him because he'll make you pay if you don't.
Now here's Rondo. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Up again. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got 8 rebounds in this game. Here's Towns. And it's rebounded by DeMarcus Cousins. Cousins has got 9 rebounds now tonight. Beyond the arc. The three-pointer is right on target. He's got 17.
And boy, has he picked it up since the start of the second. His shots now starting to fall.
And Gibson wide open. He shoots. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
And that's how you answer back.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, go right back at him. Show him you can shoot from outside all night long.
Out to the wing. Cunningham passes to Holiday. And another 3 for New Orleans.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Here's Towns. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Towns has got 12 points now in the quarter.
This is the thing about Towns, folks. I mean, he can shoot over most anybody and doesn't seem bothered when under duress. Maintains his poise and composure and gets the shot he wants.
Outside Holiday. They get it back. No good from Cousins. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. The Pelicans shooting 44% from the field in the second. Dishes it to Cunningham. From past the arc, finally gets one to fall. He's now 1 for 5 with his first make.
No excuse for that kind of defense. I'm positive they're upset about that.
This guy is a high flyer. I mean, especially for a power forward, and he needs to be as an undersized player.
Gibson's gotten 3 of his 5 shots to go here. To the wing right side. The wide open look here for Holiday. Good. And it's Rondo who picks up the assist.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the triple.
Yeah, Greg, you know, they're having free reign from beyond the arc. The defense is just not there.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish.
Part of what makes him unique, guys, that combination of power and polish.
And good that time. 36 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
Cousins with it. Now guarded by Gibson. Gibson with the steal. Here's Towns. And he converts the layup. Towns has got 38 points.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen. Well, I like the first quarter he had. I mean, and I'm loving the second quarter even more. Playing with a lot of momentum right now.
Well, for New Orleans, shooting not great, 40% for the game. Well, a few things have become clear with Rondo in the past few seasons. 1, Greg, he needs to be happy with his situation in order to be productive. And 2, he can give you big numbers at times, but he isn't the player he once was on that Celtic team.
Yeah, and Rondo, he's such a hard-headed guy and has his own way of approaching things. If you clash with him, everything goes up in flames with his game. Needs to be on the same page with his coach, and he's running out of coaches who will put up with him.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. Clark, a lot of former players had a specific instance when they knew they were special, the way they played the game of basketball. Did you ever have a moment like that where you realized that you could make it as a player?
Yeah, there was a time when that became more realistic to me, Kevin. And I grew up in Cleveland, and during the summers, a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers would stay in the area and play pickup basketball to stay in shape. And I got a chance to bump heads with a lot of those guys, Jim Jones and the late Terry Furlow, Austin Carr, Bingo Smith, Mike Mitchell. And I was only 15, 16 years old. And while those guys were going at half speed, it gave me the encouragement that I might be able to get to where they were if I continued to work hard and stay healthy. So at 15 or 16, during one of those summers, I began to realize that I might have a chance to realize the dream of being an NBAer.
Towns with it, and it's Nelson picking him up, and Towns gets it to go.
Oh, it's scary because he's just been a matchup nightmare in this game. He's eaten up anybody they've thrown at him.
Nelson kicks to Davis. Three-pointer. Rebound, Minnesota. 1:35 left in the first half. Here's Butler. They get it again, and Towns gets it to go. Towns has got 42 in the game.
Yeah, these defenders just look a bit overmatched, especially inside.
Towns comes with a double team. Holiday dishes to Davis. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got 3 assists in the game. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Teague. And a look now at the various locations of the shots taken so far for Towns.
This is the shot chart of a dominant performance. I mean, he's taken a lot of shots because right now he believes that every shot he does take is going in. And who can blame him with the way he's played? Simply outstanding work coming from him.
1:06 left to play here in the half. Nelson, the pass to Cunningham. And Gibson over to help. Butler against Holiday. Over in the corner, Cunningham. Shot clock at 6. Can't hit the corner 3.
I mean, his field goal percentage isn't good. He's not helping his team out there shooting this poorly.
Here's Towns, and again it's Minnesota.
I'll tell you, he's beating up the defense in this quarter, going right at him and scoring in a variety of ways.
Now Holiday, he had a 24-point outing in their last game against the Warriors in Oakland.
And he passed the ball so well in that game, keeping everybody involved, even as he was racking up all those points.
Here's Gibson. That's good, and it's his 4th basket of the game. He's a strong 4 for 6.
A really strong second quarter in terms of scoring the basketball.
Nelson kicks to Cunningham. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. It's his first trip to the line.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
Guys, I think free throw shooting, and Steve, you can speak to this, is all about rhythm and confidence, and he hasn't been able to establish any rhythm there this season.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Cunningham. And so Cunningham nails both of them. 7 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Out of bounds, New Orleans will take possession. Five seconds left in the first half. Nelson. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Scoring, rebounding, he was all over the place during that quarter. They are riding his performance right now. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy, you have come a long way in this league. When you look at your career now versus when you came in, how different is it?
Much different. I think on the floor, I'm supposed to do a lot more on both ends of the floor. And off the floor, I think it's still the same. People recognize my hair.
Well, it is a unique style, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. The first half was all about Karl Anthony Towns. He had a scoring performance for the ages, putting up an enormous amount of points, 5 steals and 6 rebounds. There was a lot to like about his first 2 quarters in this one. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, they just about ran their offense to perfection. They pounded the ball inside, and the entry feeds were on time and on the money. It was a clinic to watch. The second half is going to be no contest if they keep getting shots 8 feet and in.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Pelicans?
Well, they gave up too many good looks. You look at the field goal percentage against them, this tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively, not enough disruption, Ernie. Like Kenny disrupts me all the time, not enough disruption.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Welcome back to New Orleans, everyone. Glad to have you with us tonight as we take a peek at all the happenings just outside of Bourbon Street. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
And through the first 2 quarters, he was extremely aggressive, picked up a number of steals.
Yeah, a real game changer in that regard, too. I mean, his activity was great. Excelled at finding ways to come up with those steals.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, anything can happen. And for the Pelicans, they're shooting under 40% all in all for the game. On the court for Minnesota, Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. And it's Teague in at the point. And here's Towns, following DeMarcus Cousins' 3.
Yeah, you see right there, Towns invites contact, unafraid of it, looking for it, and he's able to score through it.
Yeah, and the Pelicans, after making the playoffs in 2015, had some high expectations with superstar Anthony Davis, but last year was a bit of a disappointment, and it forced them to kind of pull the trigger and go out and land DeMarcus Cousins. So their fortunes now, I think, are going to be held by those 2 anchors on the front line.
And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. The shot by Holiday, no good. Timberwolves shooting impressively throughout at 62%. Greg, what would you say is the key for the Pelicans to get back in the playoff mix?
There's several. I think rebounding was a big problem. The trade for Cousins should help in that area. And every team needs more shooting. But I think in particular, this group does. And then first and foremost, look, you got to stay healthy. Hard to figure out what you have when you never get a chance to see it.
A nice shot by Teague.
And the crafty, cunning Teague, fantastic at finding ways to score down low.
Screen by Cousins. And Holiday has it in the corner. Good. And it's Rondo who picks up the assist. Rondo's got 6 assists here tonight. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. It's on DeMarcus Cousins.
A guy with the size and skill of Towns, Kevin, really hard to stop without fouling.
Pretty much automatic tonight at the line, 8 for 8.
He has come through in a big way at the foul line in this game.
Taking advantage of every single one of those free throw opportunities. Guys, I like that this is a part of his game that has really been consistent this year.
The first free throw is good. You know, Clark, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves unveiled this new logo they're sporting this season. They felt it was time for an update, and you have to say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most teams in the NBA want to mix their logo up every so often to keep it modern and up to date and fresh. The Wolves have a young group and felt it was the right time to re-examine the logo, and I can't argue with them. Sometimes a little change like that can pay big dividends.
Now here's Rondo. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Outside Holiday, and another three for New Orleans.
Their third three-pointer in a row.
Adjustment time for these guys. The defense has to make some adjustment here.
Butler dishes to Towns, shoots over Cousins. It's stolen by Davis. Here's Rondo. Here's Cousins. Lets it go from deep. And Rajon Rondo, the basket on the assist by Cousins. Rondo's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. And Towns gets it to go.
And, you know, as good as Towns is from outside, I mean, that play is why he shoots for a high percentage.
Rondo kicks to Davis. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
Greg, from his one-and-done season at Kentucky, leading college basketball in block shots, we knew Anthony Davis could dominate defensively, but did you have any idea he'd be this good offensively?
None. I mean, with his length and athleticism, you knew he'd have an impact as a finisher. But the way his shooting has developed, it has been remarkable. Now, granted, this was a guy that at one point was recruited to play point guard coming out of high school, but he's playing more like a shooting guard with his skill set.
And that one falls for Davis.
Davis is really the total package, a mobile, sharp-shooting big guy who can score from everywhere.
Gibson. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Cousins has got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Pass to Holiday. Cousins dishes to Rondo. Here's Davis. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. And that's 15 points for Davis.
And how about the last 5 made shots have all been threes? The defense is just giving up a barrage.
Most teams get the message to cover shooters after 1 or 2 wide open looks at the three-point shot, but it seems like they have just not figured it out.
The second effort, and Gibson sends it back.
And Gibson just out here to play hard defense, showing great awareness coming up there with that block. And how about the excellent court vision, just keeping the defense off balance?
Yeah, that was a sweet pass right there, setting up his teammate nicely, and that's really how you move the rock. Share that sugar, man. Share it.
Oh, great ball movement there.
The Timberwolves have gone 5 of 9 on field goal attempts since halftime. Here's Towns. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Rondo with it. Screen by Cousins. Cunningham kicks to Holiday. From outside, off the mark. The Timberwolves shooting it well here in the third, about 50%. Here's Wiggins. Takes a big high bounce and goes in. Wiggins has got 4 points in the quarter.
Tell you what, Kevin, somebody came to play and compete tonight. Wiggins has been bagging his groceries all game long.
Here is Cunningham. 5 points in the game. Takes the 13-footer, and that one is off. Wiggins with some nice D. For Minnesota, they've gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. Towns, no luck. The Pelicans have gone 7 of 15 from the field here in the third quarter. Cunningham kicks to Holiday. Another miss by Holiday. And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That will be foul number 5 on him. And the Pelicans making a change here. Allen's checked in. The Timberwolves shooting about 59% from the floor offensively. They've been running without a hitch. And Towns gets it to go.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
Now here's Cousins. 24 points for him.
You know, I really enjoy watching Cousins go to work deep inside. I mean, it feels like, to me, nobody can guard him down there.
And Towns gets it to go.
Yeah, and he's connecting on a lot of his shots here, shooting a high percentage from the field, really giving his team a boost.
The drive by Cousins, and that one good. Cousins has got 28 points for the game.
Boy, I tell you, he has been lights out. Sadly, they're still behind. He needs his guys to step up.
Well, for New Orleans, shooting it well here in the third, about 50%. Holiday inside the line. Wiggins with the rebound. Wiggins has got his 5th rebound in this one. And the dunk by Towns.
There's the great length we're always talking about with Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, leaving no doubt about that one.
Rondo against Teague. Gibson with the steal. And here we go. Towns heading to the hoop. Had the opportunity on the break, but couldn't sink the 3. Rondo with it. Picked up by Teague. And Holiday has it in the corner. Another miss by Holiday.
Oof, rough shooting night tonight, but you can't fault him for the effort.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
2 shots.
And the foul called on the New Orleans Pelicans.
2.
Hey, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for Minnesota?
Well, I got to say, one thing that stuck out all game is the consistent penetration they've gotten.
Yeah, but don't forget about their points in the paint, because those have been big.
Shooting 2.
The free throw drops for Towns. And the Pelicans at last season's trade deadline making the big deal for DeMarcus Cousins.
You know, you look at Anthony Davis being paired with Cousins, and certainly on paper you could make the argument that they've got the best 1-2 punch on the front line in the league. 2 Kentucky guys, great size and offensive skill in terms of their versatility. If they can surround them with shooters and some perimeter defense, I think this group could be scary.
Now, here is Nelson. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. It's Allen with the drive.
And this is something you'd like to see more of from Jang, given his size and wingspan.
Minnesota making some changes. Bielitsa comes in for Towns. And Jones subbed in for T.
Hey, Jameer.
Jones against Nelson. Let's go. And the jumper falls for him. Nelson's got his first basket.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. Those 3-point bombs will erase the deficit quickly if they can keep it up.
And stolen by Wiggins. It's Bielitsa, and he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Staying alert and aware, Wiggins sees his man flash to an open spot. Pass is right on the money.
Right side Davis. Over Jang. They get it back. Cousins. Miller outside. That shot off. Minnesota shooting it quite well in this third quarter, 53%, and the offense is rolling. They get the rebound. Bielitsa with the bucket. Bielitsa's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
Yeah, those are back crushers. I mean, they really crack your back when you give teams second shots like that.
Now, here is Nelson. Cousins, the pass to Davis. A second chance effort. Tries yet again, and he sinks the layup. Davis has got 17.
Just so resourceful as a player. Davis gets the job done inside in all sorts of ways, and that's one of them right there, crashing the offensive glass, getting that second chance bucket.
Jones against Nelson. "11 feet out, and he hits it. The Timberwolves shooting the ball really well in this game, 58%. So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And Nemanja Bjelica, stretch big out of Serbia, is a guy who has a nice shooting stroke and can help space the floor for you because of that. When he's active on the offensive end looking for a shot, I think that's when he most helps his team.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one. And Bjelica at times can fall into that bystander mode, Clark. It was something he was hoping to improve on and avoid last season before he had to be shut down with a foot injury.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, I can recall a game last season where Towns actually had to tell Bjelica, shoot, you're open. With his skill set, you want this guy to be aggressive looking for his shot. He needs to hunt his shot. The consistency he's building after a few seasons in the NBA, I think, is really starting to help his confidence.
Now, here is Nelson. Miller outside. And it's off from three-point range. And Bjelica kicks to Wiggins. That shot is off. Excellent D there from Allen. To the left side wing. Moore dishes to Nelson. And Jones over to help. Miller outside. Miller with another miss. Minnesota shooting around 48% so far in the third. And that one's good. Wiggins.
Well, trying to employ physical defense against Wiggins, but this young man powers right through it. Very impressive.
Davis with a screen on Crawford. Here's Moore. He doesn't hit that one. So Minnesota will take it the other way. Here's Wiggins. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Davis has got rebound number 10 tonight with that last one. Here's Moore. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Jamal Crawford picks one up.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
Two shots. Last on the first.
That's good from Moore. And you look at the history of the Timberwolves, and there have been some incredible players. Clark, which Timberwolf player always was your favorite to watch, and why?
Well, Kevin Garnett was fun to watch wherever he played. Clearly, his early career was in Minnesota, and his intensity, his focus, his versatility, his two-way prowess. Sam Mitchell, guy I got to know when he was in Indiana, and just one of those solid veteran guys. And then Kevin Love, a double-double 2010 guy. It was really good while he was there, too.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Now here's Davis. 17 points in the game. Moore with the steal. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Boy, like his intensity, Greg. He's not afraid to take it straight to the rack on the bigger defender. Right at him.
Shooting one.
That's good from Moore. And one of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
For New Orleans, they have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
One shot. One shot.
That free throw good from Miller.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Yeah, you know what? And I think they've just got to keep on keeping on. Keep drawing contact, attacking, getting to the line. That will certainly give them a chance to get back into the game.
1:49 left to play in the third. Nelson, the pass to Miller. And the rejection by Jang. They get it back. Allen, that's good.
And all those second chance points have given them a boost here in the second half, and that's a great way to cut into the lead.
And a look here at the shot chart for New Orleans.
Well, they're going to have to look elsewhere for points because he has pulled a Houdini and completely disappeared from the offense in this one. Just no production from him, and nothing seems to be in rhythm for him right now. It's just not his night.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
No misses yet. You can't do much better than that, guys.
He's perfect from the line this time. Well, for New Orleans, shooting around 40% from the floor here. Doubled by Crawford. Top of the key, Moore. It's Allen on the wing. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. Basket, good. 19 points for Davis.
He's simply a machine at the offensive end. I wonder how far behind they'd be if he wasn't having this kind of quarter.
And Muhammad gets it to go.
Yeah, he's a powerful wing player, Kevin. Muhammad, I think, likes to operate in the painted area best.
Nelson with it. Jones covering. There's Miller with the three. The basket good off the assist from Nelson. Miller's got 14.
And this is someone that can really hurt you from long range. He did that to a degree in the first half, and he's doing it now.
Got that bucket in no time at all.
If you're guarding Jang, you know he doesn't mind being challenged. I mean, he's able to convert through physical play. As a matter of fact, the rougher it is, I think the more he likes it.
And Davis can't get it to go.
He's been terrible. Absolutely awful. I mean, can't get it going. His shot isn't there right now. He's got to help him some other ways.
And I love the way he uses his size there to make sure he gets that board.
From deep, Moore. And another three for New Orleans.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Well, you know, the D just hasn't been there for real. I mean, these shooters are getting any perimeter shot they want. It's a bunch of warm-up jump shots out there.
Nelson outside. Kicks to Miller. He feeds it to Moore. Here's Davis. That one's not going to go. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They kept going to him again and again, and he delivered with a monster quarter. Back to the action after this word. Let's take a listen now to Alvin Gentry.
Forget about the score and let's compete. Just compete. That's all. Not that hard to do now.
Without worrying about what's led up to this point, Alvin Gentry trying to refocus his players' efforts.
Yeah, I mean, dwelling on the point differential at this point isn't going to fix anything. But all 5 guys giving maximum effort, that might be a cure-all for a whole lot.
And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Nelson is out there with Ian Clark. Then there's Etuan Moore. Then it's Omer Ashik. And it's Diallo in at the 4. So that's the group out there for New Orleans. And here's Nelson. And Jones over to help. Shot good by Diallo.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
And so it's New Orleans with it. Following the bucket by the Timberwolves. To the paint. And Asha kicks to Moore. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
It's really been a tale of 2 halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
Out of bounds, New Orleans will take possession. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Georges Hunt is checked in. The Pelicans have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Nelson outside. Moore outside. The pass to Diallo. To the left side wing. 6 on the shot clock. This one for 3. No good from Moore. For Minnesota, they've gotten all 3 of their shots to drop here in the fourth quarter. They came out of the break on a roll. Another shot. Bielitsa misses. New Orleans has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Nelson outside. Over to the left wing. From past the arc, trains the three-pointer.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give him from behind the arc.
Mohamed with it, and it's Nelson picking him up. Puts it up from 12. Bielitsa with the bucket. Bielitsa's got 14 points here in the second half. New Orleans gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Knocks it loose. Out in his own on the break. The finish. The big dunk at the end of the break.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case. It looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
Here's Clark after the basket by Minnesota. They get it back to the inside. Here's Diallo, and he takes that one up and powers it through.
And he might be small for a center, but boy, can he jump out of the building.
And Mohamed throws it down.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kevin, once Mohamed gets to the rim, that giant wingspan just really takes over.
Now, here is Nelson. Moore dishes to Nelson, and they will call over the back on the play.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's climbing all over him on that one, no way the officials are going to miss that.
Tell you what, he might have gotten that rebound and gotten away with it if he had gone straight up, but didn't work out.
Rajon Rondo's checked in for Jameer Nelson. And a change for the Timberwolves. Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for Bielitsa. It's good.
Just no resistance inside at all. They are feasting. This is a straight buffet.
It is. It's a big one. And load the plate.
Yeah, exactly. It sure is. Plenty of second opportunities. 8 of their last 10 points from the paint, but the defense still continues to back away and not show any aggression.
No hesitation at all in transition, and they have a huge margin in that department.
Fast breaks yield easy buckets, guys. They've made the most of their chances in that regard. The defense not able to get set, you get a running start to the rim, you should get a good number of scoring chances that way.
No good from Clark. And here are the Timberwolves. They've gone on a 10-2 run, not allowing much. Lets it go from 11, and again it's Minnesota converting.
Yeah, they are really starting to push it now.
The Pelicans have gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth, 4 of 9. Passes it to Diallo. There's the pick. Back to Clark. From down in the low post, it goes. Timberwolves shooting 61% from the field, showing some marvelous touch out there. A shot's good from Aldrich.
And you know, Aldrich is getting to the point in his career where he's developed a number of moves inside, and good play call there for him.
Diallo the pass to Rondo. Screen by Asik. Poke loose. And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here. Here's Rondo. Just 5 on the clock. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. Diallo.
And that's Jang affecting the shot. Nice timing defensively. This guy's a well-rounded player in my mind.
Oh, big time put back there. What a great motor on this guy.
There is no one who goes after those rebounds harder.
And night in and night out, that's what he provides.
Now here's Rondo. Here's Clark. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
Ian Clark. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Clark. So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. Muhammad with the steal. And now the Timberwolves on the break. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Yeah, the defender all over him.
Greg, he got him good there. I mean, that's why the shot was so far off.
At the line for 2.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good. And so Jones nails both of them. Here's Rondo. Screen by Asik. Rondo drives in, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And this is one of the things they need to keep doing in the second half to get this win. Keep knocking down those free throws. They've been sensational here at the line.
Rondo.
Two shots.
That free throw, no good.
And there's no denying that Rondo is a wizard with the ball, exceptional at exploiting holes in the defense.
Dante Cunningham's checked in for New Orleans. No good at the stripe this time. Second misses also. I just love what Muhammad can do, Clark, for a team coming off the bench. Always looks to attack the basket, and when he is locked in, can function as one of the better 6 men in the league.
Yeah, you know, for some guys, Kevin, being a rotational player off the bench is a hand-in-glove fit. And I think Muhammad falls into that category. I mean, you can give him a start if you needed to. He's not the best defender. but you love what he brings on offense, particularly if he's coming off the bench.
Miller's checked in for Diallo. For New Orleans, they've gone only 6 of 14 from the field in the fourth. They set the pick. Clark kicks to Ashik. Here's Cunningham. Hands it from downtown.
And they've got to talk to each other on D there. Miscommunication, and now he's able to make them pay.
Stolen by Ashik. Rondo against Jones. Rondo dishes to Cunningham. And it's Omer Ashik with the foul. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
The Timberwolves shooting around 60% on the night. Amazing work offensively so far. George's Hunt's shot's good. For New Orleans, they've gone 7 of 16 from the field here in the fourth. That's about 43%. Here's the three. Cunningham's shot is off.
And maybe, he thinks he can shoot himself out of the cold spell, but I don't think that's the case. Maybe somebody want to tell him to ease up off the threes.
At the line of Timberwolves, Tyus Jones, taking 2 shots.
Shooting 2.
And that one falls for Jones. And so Jones nails both of them. Well, for New Orleans, shooting here in the fourth quarter, around 41%. Miller with a screen on Jones. New Orleans moving it around. Clark kicks to Rondo. With the teardrop. Rebound by Jang. Jang's got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him. It's deflected. They retain possession. Now here is Miller. Feeds to Cunningham. And a great assist by Miller as that one goes in. Cunningham's got 6 in the quarter. Here's Muhammad. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Miller outside. It's tipped. Here's Jones. Inside. The 11-footer. Jang, no luck.
Has to be disappointing seeing him miss that one, Kevin. I mean, the defense wasn't bad, but still, I think he needs to convert from there.
Here's Cunningham. A three-pointer off the mark.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
And it's in there.
Kevin, a big guy with an emerging skill set. Jang ruling the paint there. Nice play.
Pelicans shooting 40% from the field. And it's Miller in the corner. Connects from three-point range.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those three-point attempts.
And those triples, they sure do add up quickly, don't they? I mean, they've got to make some kind of adjustment here.
Basket counts. Here's Rondo. They set the pick. He dishes it to Clark. Inside. The 11-footer. And there are the Timberwolves with another bucket. Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, focus. Just make the simple play.
No good on the three. Clark's gotten just 1 of 6 shots to fall here. Fires from the line, and that one comes up a bit short. And New Orleans pushing it up now. Rondo with the ball. Buries it down low.
How about the energy? Just relentless here. Rondo excellent at just gliding down the floor and finishing in style.
And that one drops. Aldridge has got 6 in the quarter.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Oh, fellas, that was vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one.
Well, guys, I'm glad they didn't try because I don't want anybody to get hurt out there.
And it's the Pelicans with the ball after the basket by Minnesota. Asik, no good.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen, got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Minnesota.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And this will be a big win for them. Lucky win number 13 now in the bag.
And as we get set to put this one to bed, a one-sided season series thus far, they've won 2 straight.
Yep, but 2 more to go before the end of the season, and they'll obviously be very confident heading into those 2 games.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Karl Anthony Towns.
You can do a lot to change a game other than scoring, and it was his quick hands on the defensive end that put them in the driver's seat.
Now here's Muhammad. It's good. That's 8 baskets for him now. 8 for 15 shooting.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
And, you know, this is what's needed at this point in the game, Greg. The great teams know how to close it out.
Minnesota calls timeout. Guys, what's your take?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
Well, they're really just being conservative, making sure they don't make any last-minute mistakes, I guess. I mean, I have no idea. No idea.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players. They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
And guys, shot A comes to mind for me because right now that offense, it's a smooth operator.
The feed now to Clark, and that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Crawford.
And you love the effort, just getting the hand in there and knocking it out.
Really came close to the pilfer, but they'll take that effort. Mucking things up is sometimes just as good as a steal.
They set the pick. Here's Nelson. Rebound by Jang. Now Muhammad, no good.
And, you know, Tony Allen, one of the better defenders in the game. Strong hands, quick feet, a tenacity that yields good defense.
So it's Minnesota winning this one easily. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, Cole, how do you think your second unit performed in terms of cohesiveness?
I think we're playing really well. You know, the best thing about us is we really try to hunker down and play a lot of defense.
Hey, congrats on the win, Cole. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. So long, everyone.